Hello and welcome to the Retirement Roadmap Show. My name is David Nagy. I'll be your host today, and in the studio we have our co-host Tony Shore. Tony, how are you today, my friend?
I am so good today, David. I'm excited. You know that. I'm pumped up. In preparation for doing a show with you, David, I usually have to drink 30 to 40 cups of coffee just to keep up with David Nagy,
Oh, come
folks.
on.
I'm just telling the
Tony, it's what I
listeners
love
out there.
about you. You're always in such a great mood. I love talking with you. You make it fun.
Well, yeah, you have to have fun. We're talking about important things, finance, retirement. I mean, you're talking about some deep topics today. We're going to get into
Yeah.
this psychological distancing is your topic. When you told me that, I'm like, whoa, you always come up with some great stuff. And when I asked you, where did you come up with this? And I said, kidney. Uh, it's like the old football player. You ever see that comedian from years ago? He had a bit where he goes, I got my helmet and my shoulder pads.
No, I've never
And
seen
for
that.
our listeners only, I'm doing, when I say helmet, I'm touching my shoulders. When I say shoulder pad, I got my helmet and my shoulder pads.
Well, I love
But
some of those old shows and
oh man,
comedy acts.
that stand up about football and football players was great. Andy Griffith used to have a good one called "What It Was Football," and he talked about a hillbilly coming down seeing a football game for the first time, and he said they skinned a pig and then they threw that pig skin around, and yeah, it was pretty good. Anyway, I digress. How have you been? You keeping busy, David?
Very busy. Yeah, well, this year I feel like I got shot out of a cannon. We went to the Gradient Summit, where we learn all these amazing new strategies and things that are happening. Very exciting year, I think we're going to
Yeah.
have a lot going on. And then, we did our first workshop, so we've been meeting with a lot of new clients, and it's been a good year.
Good.
I
Keep
went
them
snow
busy.
skiing up at Mammoth, got a little bit of fun in. It's
Oh,
been good.
nice. You went up to Mammoth. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I've been skiing there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. When I back in the late 80s, early 90s, I lived in Southern California and went to Mammoth a couple of times, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Skiing was a lot different back then.
Yeah, I haven't
The
been skiing.
technology has come a long way.
I haven't been skiing a long time. My wife and I in the early 90s went up to Tahoe. We went to
Oh, beautiful.
Heavenly.
Beautiful.
And then in 1988, I went skiing with a buddy at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which the theme there is steep and deep.
Yes.
They have tons of snow typically, and it's
Yeah.
very steep. So that was fun, though. A lot of fun. We got snowed in. We were only going to stay one day. We were driving from
Wow.
Minnesota to California. It's when I moved out there. And we barely made it in on the road. Had to get some help to get in the last few days. They had a massive blizzard. They had like 3 feet of snow all at once,
Wow.
4 feet. And then you couldn't leave. The pass was blocked. The only people getting in and out were the wealthy ones with a helicopter. So they have
Well,
a
those
pass.
make for good stories.
Oh, yeah. That was great. But yeah, you're right. I mean, skiing, I haven't been skiing now in many years. That's cool. You went skiing, though. Was it
Yeah.
fun?
It was great. We had a great time.
How's Mammoth right now? I know a lot of ski
Beautiful.
resorts don't have enough snow.
They're the only place in the country, I think, that has snow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's still really good. So get your
good.
skis, go hit Mammoth.
Yeah,
So,
there you
you
go.
asked me about psychological distancing. It's
Yes.
something that I've been in this career so long that I've watched this occur many times over my career. And psychological distancing is that state of mind where we think, well, it's so far away, that won't happen to me. Or so far away, I'm going to deal with that later. I got time on my side. But unfortunately, oftentimes people don't deal with it. And then I have clients right now, almost every month, they didn't plan for living as long.
Mm.
They didn't think about Social Security timing because they didn't think they were going to live that long. That happened to my own father. My father truly believed he was never going to live past 75.
Oh, wow.
He never thought There's no way I'm going to get into my 80s. It's never going to happen.
I hear that from a lot of people. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I'm just going to work and I don't need to plan for retirement. I'm just going to keep working. And then,
yep,
at 75, by 75, I'll be done,
yeah.
gone.
And that's psychological distancing.
Yeah.
They just don't see it happening to them.
Right.
And more than 70% of all people that say that, well, I'm just going to work, more than 70% do not work nearly as long as they are planning to work.
Right.
For a variety of reasons that we don't have time to get into, but
Right. They might be health reasons. They might be at some age. There still is ageism, and companies do force you out. I mean, whether
or
you like
just
it or not.
during COVID.
Yeah.
I met with a ton of people during COVID that never thought they were going to get laid off,
Right.
but companies had to let people go. And unfortunately, the people that have been there the longest are the first to go, and they're the last to get hired back.
Right.
And this can really affect our retirement planning or even our short-term planning. So it's something that I wanted to talk about. It happened to my father. Now, my father passed away last year. He lived to be 92 years old.
Yeah. See, people are living longer and longer, and that's
Ah,
that's longevity risk, right? My
yeah,
grandfather lived to 101, and he was active through 100. He was driving at 99 years old.
yeah.
He was camping with his wife at age 100, and he died at 101.
And even when I talk to people in my office and I say, well, one of the questions I ask, because part of my job is to get to know you. That
Right.
first meeting when you come in, and by the way, all of our meetings are complimentary. We want to get to know you. We want to look at your situation. In that second meeting, we will give you recommendations if we have any. In the third meeting, we drill down into our recommendations. And by the end of the third meeting, you'll know whether you want to become a client or not. There's no pressure. But during those meetings, more often than not, I ask people, how long do you think you're going to live? And more often than not, their response is, well, 80, 84, 88. I mean, that's what most people will say. And then I ask them, well, how long are your parents alive? Oh yeah, she's 95. Well, what about your grandparent? Oh, my grandmother lived to be 100. And so they just don't see themselves living that long.
Right.
And one of my jobs is to create a plan. I always say I want to under promise and over deliver, right? We want to build out longer than we think we're going to live, just because I'd rather have a plan, okay, you die with more money than you thought you were going to. Well, that's better than running out of money.
Right.
Yeah. And most people get that once we start talking about it. And we talk about that psychological distance, and I will talk about it. They get that aha moment, like, oh, yeah, maybe I should plan longer. And I think it's so important because I meet people every day that did not plan for that,
Right.
and they're regretting it.
Yeah. Well, I think we mentally push uncomfortable things or things we don't want to face or things that we think will be stressful. We push those off. And that's really what you're talking about
Oh,
is
100%.
psychological distancing, even though at the same time, every survey shows the number one fear people have as they get older is outliving their money in retirement. That's the number
It's
one
the
fear.
number one fear. They did a study. Who was it? I can't think of it now, but not Newsweek. It was one of those publications,
Yeah.
and they took a group of people that were 65 years old. There was like 1,000 of them, and the number one concern was running out of money. Number two was dying.
Yeah.
So we're more afraid of running out of money than we are dying.
Yeah. Yeah, and Vanguard has done a number of studies similar,
Yep.
and they find the same thing. Dying is usually the number one or number two fear in retirement, but number one is running out of money. When you get to retirement, what's the number one fear? Running out of money, and that is yet we psychologically distance ourselves from planning for it, which is what we're talking about today. And you touched on the first big thing is longevity risk or outliving your money. I mean, what I always say, David, is the good news is we're living longer. The bad news is we're living longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that dovetails into long-term care planning. They've done multiple studies, and if you're 65 years old today, there's a 72% chance you're going to need long-term care.
Yeah.
If you're a married couple, there's a 95% chance one of you will need long-term care. But no one wants to picture needing it. No one wants to picture needing help bathing or losing their independence, or the thing that I hear all the time, which is, I think, a horrible thing to count on, is, oh, my family will take care of me.
Hmm.
And it's not
Yeah.
always easy for family members. My mom lives in Houston. My sister lives in Arizona. My other sister lives near her in Houston, but they have full-time jobs. They have grandkids. They're busy, and it's hard for them to drop everything and go help my mom. So, by the time people really feel like, okay, I need to take care of this, oftentimes the options are limited or it's too late.
Right. Yeah, that's true. In long-term care planning, you've seen it with your parents and a lot of, clients, parents, relatives. My mom and dad are both in long-term care. They both need full skilled nursing, and
Yeah.
my mom, her cost is $11,000 a month. Dad's is about $7,600 a month, and probably
Yeah.
going up soon as he needs more and more care.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap. You have to plan for it. And nobody likes to think about that or thinks they'll need it. Again, we psychologically tell ourselves,
Yeah.
oh, I'm either not going to live that long, I'm not going to need long-term care, but more and more people do every year. Those numbers you gave go up. I mean, it's almost 2 out of every 3 people who make it to 65 will eventually need long-term care. So,
Yeah, and if you don't plan for it, it can be catastrophic for your spouse
yeah,
or your family,
yeah.
because as you mentioned, those costs they're not cheap.
No. So you have to plan ahead for that. And there are so many great strategies and tools nowadays. I mean, traditional long-term care insurance was expensive, and most places don't carry it now, but plus you'd lose the money. Now there's hybrid policies. There's things you can utilize that have long-term care riders. There's ways to save more for it. So I know you have a lot of strategies you help your clients utilize to plan ahead for long-term care, correct?
Exactly. There's so many different tools out there to plan for it, but you have to do it when you're young enough. You can't wait until it's too late. It's the same thing with market risk. I have clients that I meet with every week. I see someone new. They're almost ready to retire, or they just retired. In fact, in 2020, we saw a ton of this where people had just retired or they got laid off and they were forced to take money out of their IRAs to live on. And then the market had a horrible year. So now they're taking money out at the worst time, and they're in very risky investments that are losing money. And this is important to have a plan for how are we going to take income? What are we going to use for long-term care? What are we going to use for emergencies? You got to have these buckets figured out ahead of time. Most people that I meet with, they just have all their money lumped into these different accounts, and I'll ask them, what's the plan for this? What's the plan for income? What's the plan for someone gets sick? And they don't want to think about it again, because this psychological distancing is so powerful. We just don't want to think about it. We don't want to talk about it. And it's sad, because I meet people all the time that we could have helped had they come in a little bit sooner.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And people don't look at market risk or sequence risk in the right way. You do need some growth, but you do have to rebalance. Downturns can happen, and maybe we treat that as temporary or distant, but you have to have a plan to deal with that, because there is a real danger of a major loss early in retirement if all your money is tied up in risky portfolios, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about risk, it's about taxes. I had a client, I've been talking to them for years about doing Roth conversions, and they didn't want to do it. Their CPA said, oh, no, you don't need to do Roth conversions. And so they're now having to take RMDs. And because of the RMDs, they got bumped into a higher income bracket. And now they're having IRMAA, which is a Medicare premium surcharge. IRMAA is now triggering Medicare premium increase, and they're really upset about it.
Yeah. Your Medicare premium will go up if you earn more.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is, if you have too much taxable income in one year in retirement, IRMAA will start raising what you pay for Medicare.
Yeah.
And, that Part B premium that everyone pays will go up.
So now
And
they're highly motivated to do Roth conversions.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
But
and that
now it's a little late. We could have
it
done
is,
this.
yeah.
We could have done this 5 years ago, and they would have no IRMAA. So for those of you listening, a lot of you have heard about Roth conversions. Some of you know you really should be doing them. Some of you are not sure if you should be doing them. We have dedicated software. We can look at how much income you have, your assets, how many years to convert it. And I'll tell you exactly when is the most efficient time to do it, how it
Yep.
affects your taxes over your lifetime, your IRMAA, your Social Security, and your income tax. And we'll show you whether or not it makes sense. It's very easy to go through this software with people. And I have so many people, once we run through this with them, they have this aha moment where they're like, wow, my CPA never showed me this. He just said, don't do it, but he didn't tell me why. My
Right.
current advisor told me I needed to do them, but they never laid out a plan. If you call my office at 619-460-9433, again, 619-460-9433, or go to my website, srswealthmanagement.com. You can schedule a meeting, and we'll provide all these resources, our Roth conversion report, our Morningstar reports, our income compass, our color money risk assessment. All this is complimentary. So for those of you out there, you're not sure what to do, please give us a call. We really would love to help you.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And David, all of these things really add up. You don't want to psychologically distance yourself from planning for things like market volatility, like things that you've been talking about here, long-term care planning, longevity risk. It is all critical, isn't it?
It's so important. And the challenge is it's human nature.
Right.
We all do it.
Yeah.
We all do it. And my job is to help people kind of shake them up a little bit, go, hey, you got to start looking at this. And it's so wonderful when I meet with people, they don't know me, they don't know my team. They get to know us, we get to know them. We run through these reports, we explain it in a way they can understand it. And almost inevitably that pop where they go, wow, I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad I came to your workshop. So glad we listened to your podcast or we saw your Instagram post. And it's just so wonderful to be able to help people in a real way that has a real impact. And it's exciting to be able to do this. And then, the biggest thing that most people, Tony, are psychologically distancing themselves from, there's that word again, right?
Yeah.
Is estate planning and legacy
Oh,
planning
yeah.
and how we're going to leave it to our children.
Right. Right. That is something we all put off. Nobody wants to think about their own demise. Everybody thinks they have more time than they do, but none of us knows the day or time. That is probably the biggest thing people put off. I mean, next to overall planning for retirement in general, but estate and legacy planning, delaying these things. They might say, oh, I have a will. I'm good.
Right. Or a trust.
Or I have a beneficiary designation on my 401k.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's not an estate or legacy plan, is it?
Well, and then, the sad part is, in 2020, they changed the rules for transferring wealth. And we do our workshops a couple every month. We do our retirement workshops. And I talk about the tax time bomb that is coming.
Yep.
And when I talk about it, people look at me like, what is he talking about? And as I go through the changes in the tax laws and how you can no longer gift your IRA to your children over their lifetime. We used to call these stretch IRAs or generational IRAs. They're gone. You now have to transfer all of that IRA 401k money. Your kids have to turn it over to their own accounts and take it out of those IRAs and 401ks within 10 years. And that could be catastrophic.
Oh, that's
Especially
huge.
if they're
Yeah.
high income earners, right? Now they're being forced to, now they got income they got to take, plus they got to take income from your IRA 401k, and it can decimate what you're leaving to your kids. So this is a big one, and it's near and dear to my heart.
Well, it's huge, and you have to have a plan in place. I mean, otherwise, you're going to leave your family and your loved ones in a bad situation, and nobody wants to do that. Also, you could create family disharmony. You want to keep the family together and
Yep.
make sure there's communication and it's clearly spelled out, and everybody's on the same page. I know it's hard to talk with your children or grandchildren, your spouse, about, hey, what if one of us passes? What if both of us passes? But you have to have a plan in place, and
Yep.
it just becomes more and more urgent the older you get. Don't put it off a lot. It's kind of the opposite of, oh, I'm only going to live to some people are like, oh, I'm going to live till 80. I got so much time to put
Yeah.
together my, but
Things
they,
happen.
things happen,
Things happen all the
unfortunately.
time. We had a
Yeah.
client just the other day, in his 70s, vibrant, fun. They were just at our Christmas party. And we got a call a couple days ago. He passed away suddenly,
Yeah.
unexpectedly. And, thank goodness we had a great plan for he and his wife,
Yeah.
but she's still devastated.
Yeah.
And we don't think it's going to happen to us. And look, this is why this is so important. And good retirement planning isn't just about the math. It's not just about the income. It's about behavioral coaching. It's helping people to understand we have to look at all these different areas. We have to help people understand the future is real.
Yeah.
And we have to help our clients to take action. And
Yep.
that's our job is to help people to do that. And I'm so blessed to be able to do this every day and work with amazing people like you, Tony. It's
Thanks, David. It is really great, and that's what you are. You do a lot of behavioral coaching. I know along
yeah,
with it, sometimes you're a financial advisor, sometimes you're a marriage counselor, sometimes you're a behavior coach or a psychologist. You have to wear a lot of hats there to help your clients, and I know that's your reward. You love helping people in the community, and you've done it for a long time, helping them have a plan in place so they don't have to worry about these things. That's the key. So how can our listeners out there and our viewers do that? How can they get a hold of you and the team there to talk about this?
again, you can visit our website right behind me, srswealthmanagement.com, and go to our contact tab and request your free consultation. You can call the office, 619-460-9433, 619-460-9433. Any one of my team members will be happy to get you on the calendar. If you would like to come in and meet me in person, we'll do Zoom, Teams meeting, whatever works for you. We're happy to help. And, the one thing that I would kind of, to wrap it up, Tony, right, and is, ask yourself, what future exposure or risk are you mentally pushing away because it feels so far off? Right? We want to bring that into today's planning
Yeah.
where it's real and retirement security begins. So give us a call, go on the website. We'd love to meet with you and help you. For those listeners that act today, you'll get a free copy of my first book, Extreme Retirement Solutions, where we talk about a lot of these strategies. And it's a great read. It's very easy. And most people tell me they love the book, and very happy to have gotten a copy of it.
Excellent. Give that phone number and web address one more time.
srswealthmanagement.com. And the phone number is 619-460-9433.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David. And listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of the Retirement Roadmap Show with our host, David Nagy.